Welcome. Good evening, everyone. Thank you once more for joining me. My name is still Mazi Ezoke, and this is Inginger Media TV International. So, what we are going to look at this evening, this is not politics. This is more to do with development within the region of the Southeast. And today we want to zero in on Anambra State. And when we talk about Anambra State, personally want to look at the development stride, within the state. As it is now, we do have, I hope we all can hear me. Hold on. As it is now, we do have. I hope you can hear me.
Bluetooth disconnected.
Can you hear me? Hold on. Can you? Oh, okay. So yes, you can hear me. That's fine. So, for many of you who are not aware, Anambra State, some of you do accuse me. Mazi, you said the airport will not work in Anambra State. Of course, I did. I called the Anambra State airport at some point a fraud, and rightly so. You know why? Because I stand by my research and calling it a fraud then because we were told that it was going to cost 2 billion at that point and that the Chinese were going to bring all the money to build that airport. And at that point I said no, that's not going to work from the research and information that I got. But again, thank God that we didn't go down that route, and eventually common sense prevailed that the state now had to do these airports on their own. And I say kudos. And I say kudos to the state government. You see, one thing we must all understand is that it is not only about knocking government when they fail and zip our mouth when they appear to have done something in the right direction. You may disagree with me, you can think whatever you want, but I think this is something that is good news for the Southeast. And this is something that is going to be a game changer. Many of you may not know the level of engagement one has done with the Enugu International Airport. I am so happy that it appears if the state government of Enugu State is not willing and ready to do the heavy liftings that behind the scenes many have been saying ought to happen, with coming on stream of Anambra State Airport, 3.7 kilometers, the second longest runway after Lagos in Nigeria. Abuja is also 3.7. However, Abuja doesn't have a racer of 1 kilometer both sides. Now, if we understand this basic development, it means something, people. It means that Enugu State would definitely have a run for their money. Now, as the airport is going to be officially having a the first flight, commercial flight. Now you can go online and book. And you know what? I wanted to show us this because I thought, by the time I got the information, I thought, okay, let me fly into that airport as well and show us, record the opening myself. Now, not sending any staff, not sending anyone, but myself. But sadly, again, I must say this. Sadly, this is what happens. Let me quickly. This is a pace. So again, if I go to Abuja, no, let me select Lagos actually. So that's gonna be where's Lagos? Come on, L. Okay, this is Lagos. Who can guess the? For those of you watching me online now, who could guess the airline code? Sorry, the airport code of Anambra Airport. You have 30 seconds to have a guess. The first person guesses right. Aha. Okay. Someone already, Eke Obonaya Ono, is saying, how comes the coding of Umo into Ana? Well, congratulations to Anambra. No, Umweri Omo would have been Omueri, but Anna is Anambra. You see where that is. Umueri would have made it section to the state to that area, but Anambra meant it is a collective. So the code to that airport is ANA. ANA. Anna. Now, for many of you watching me from the diaspora, before I go into booking this flight now to showcase that this is working, many of you are watching me, wanting to come home this Christmas. This is also a good news. We may not for this Christmas have international flights coming from London, from Washington, from Germany, from Frankfurt. Say Germany, sorry, from Hamburg, from Frankfurt, from Barcelona, wherever you are, Madrid, right? You may not have that happen this year, but there is something that is close to that. You can actually fly in, though a little bit inconveniencing. You can fly into Lagos or fly into Abuja, and then you can join the local flight and come down to Anambra. Now, it takes about 4 to 5 hours now because of bad road and rainy season to go from Anambra to Enugu. No matter how this is madness, this is insanity. But if you take that away, it means the Anambra State, our road is not the best, optimal, as it were a couple of years back. But if you can bet me that you would drive from Anambra Airport to the heartland of Anambra Central within 35 minutes, 40 minutes. You can drive from Umueri. There is a new road, a new construction that will bust you out at Uke. Then the moment you get to Uke, you are at Nobi. The moment you get to Nobi, that's the heartland of Central. Both Central and and South. You go your right, you are at Newi. You go your left, you head down to Nokwa. You go straight, you go to Oketiti, Ichida, Ibuku, Ekulobia. Now, and this is the good thing here. So that even if you want to come home now, you no longer need to fly into Owerri. That takes you about an hour, 30 minutes to 2 hours. You no longer need to fly into Port Harcourt. That takes you about 3 hours. You no longer need to fly into Enugu. That even if the road is fixed for Christmas, still about 2.5 hours. You see where the game changer is. And this is why I think many of us are really excited. I do understand there are skeptics, who do not in one second or the other appreciate when something like this happens. I know that many of you will say, "Oh, talk about something else." Listen, you kind not going to decide what I'm going to talk about. I decide what I talk about on my show because this is something for me that is a game changer. Cargoes will begin to come in now. No, people will stop going into Lagos, Abuja to clear their cargoes. Passengers, commercial flight passengers. It makes more sense if eventually Air Peace begins London, Nigeria. Very likely that you're going to see London, Anambra, LOS, NAN, Lausanne. You see? Or we call it LHR, ANA. So let me quickly go ahead and dive in and try to book this flight. So you get to see what I mean here. Now, I'm going to fly in from Lagos. I'm going to go, see here, we already have, no, sorry, not Enugu. Enugu is already on my pre-configured. What's happened? Anambra here, I see. Anambra has joined the league. People, this is exciting. Okay, so let's see. This airport is going to be opened officially on the 30th, right? Now, let me say I want to fly out. I don't want to fly out on a Monday because obviously you guys understand it's going to be a trouble. But let me fly out on a Wednesday. And I'm going to say, go, bang. Germans call it die Stunde der Wahrheit, the time of the Offenbarung. So look at it here. Sadly, 30th is already sold out. Can you believe that? 30th is already sold out. See, sold out here. I can't even come back on Wednesday because what is already sold out. That is to tell you how heavy the traffic to that airport is. And that is to tell you what is going to happen around Christmas period. Because I'm already in this page, let's try something. Let me change the date to December and let's see. So I want to come back. Let's say I don't want to fly on this Saturday. Yeah, let me say 27th. Okay, it's a good date. It's a good day to fly back and fly out maybe first week of you know January. So let's see if we'll find any flight. People see that here, sold out, sold out again. I think I believe Airpeace knows what he's going to do. It's not enough. It's time now to begin to add more flight into this route. And I believe not only Airpeace, the moment after this Saturday, I believe other airlines will come. And excitedly, Onyebuchi Kenneth says Frankfurt Omo. No, it's Frankfurt Anna. It's called Frana. FRN. That's Frankfurt. It's, yeah, Frankfurt Anna. Okay, that is Frana. So now let's look at this airport that it is today, waiting for commissioning. Let's have a look how the airport is today. So you can see, obviously, this is part of the night landing. You can see that. Very, very exciting. This is what was it called? The ILS, that guides the plane. Okay. So you can see that a lot, fire service section. See state of the art fire service equipment that is in there. You can see that this is indeed, the tower. The escalators are now working, obviously. This is a show. Many of us, it's for some reason, we have to accept this is Nigeria. We have, this is water treatment plant at the airport. So we have the airports. It's not like Madrid. It's not like Frankfurt. It's not like Washington. It's not. But I believe it serves the purpose. Believes it serves the purpose. Many of you from Umweri, many of you from Anambra North, you land at this airport in 15 minutes, you're in your village. How happy. Why can't you be happy? Look at the conveyor belt when your bag comes in, where they put your bag in and your bag comes out here. See how many conveyor belts? One, two, one, two, one, two, three. Yeah, I think is it three conveyor belts? Oh, I wish I had my ticket to go to and land at that airport that same day. One, two, okay, two conveyor belts. You know, but I'm wondering why the stairs. Why this type of disabled stairs? Why is it they could have put conveyor belts? Escalators to convey people. But again, this is the top. I think they've done it like Abuja, where you come in, you go to the top before you board your flight. Again, and again, you can see even the seats have charger and USB. So it means when you get to the airport, not like when you come to Lagos, everyone is looking anywhere where to charge phone, but at least some thinking went into whatever has been done here. Okay, so we say it here: begin full commercial operation on the 30th. Again, I will say before, let's give Anambra State a round of applause. Anambra State, let's give them a round of applause. Anambra, a round of applause. A round of applause. So, people, you can see that. I am indeed happy to say the least that this airport is finally here. I don't know what you think, but Maz is okay. He's saying, let's give Anambra State a round of applause. We're not social critics, just talking because we want to talk. No, where we see gaps, we talk, we provide solutions. Now, Anambra State has done this, bearing in mind that the way they've actually done it, Boeing A380, the largest Boeing in the world, could actually land at that airport. You know, if there is any distress, let's say Boeing is going into neighboring country and there is a distress, they can actually come to Anambra State and land. And for me, this is it. This is what we call development. This is what we're talking about. And one thing that many of you may not like is, you know, in as much as you can hate the federal government for not building this airport, but I'm somewhat also happy that the federal government did not. And that Anambra can now beat their chest in pride and say, yes, we built this airport with the state fund. However, state government, if I praise you, they say the same hand with which you smack a child is the same hand with which you pet the child. I've pet you now a little bit, but I tell you, there is something, we have an outstanding agreement, which is I am yet to confirm the actual cost of this airport. If I go by a budgetary allocation, it's less than 20 billion. If I go by budgetary allocation, but that still guess based on the budget that I have reviewed so far. But we want the actual money spent on this airport. Because the previous airport, the previous design with the Chinese was meant to cost us $2 billion. 2 billion. Many people have gone to town saying that this Anambra airport is at a cost of $2 billion. That is false. I derive no joy in peddling falsehood. This platform is not known for such. However, I can tell us that there is no way on this planet Earth that this airport would have been built with 2 billion. So that information is false. However, it behoves on the state government now to tell us the actual amount of this airport. I can see that many of you watching also are happy about this development. If you want to have your contribution, you can ring and have your contribution regarding Anambra State Airport. Personally, I am happy that finally it has happened. I'll find time to go on my own, use the flight. Sadly, I cannot. I couldn't get any ticket to come in on Saturday to this airport. But because I would have loved to fly in myself, getting the shot from inside the airplane, coming down and seeing, the stuff myself, go in everywhere and go in places nobody going. I like going into toilets. Because what? I tell you, if you want to know a good airport, first of all, when you come out of the airport, get into the toilet. The toilet gives, how good someone takes their hygiene and how good someone is. Even in your house, the toilet, how neat, how clean your toilet is, gives you out. How clean your toilet is gives you out. So that is the issue here. So if you want to make any call, please, this is the number to call. If you can call and let me know what you are talking about. Maz, flying us how? No. Uh, uh, Bajide, I'm not cargo and I'm not dead to be cargoed into. No, it's, commercial passengers operation is going to commence on, you know, from that, on that date. So cargo and passenger local So what it means, people, if Enugu State messes up again and the Ethiopian airline wouldn't fly into Enugu, Ethiopian airline is no longer going to go to Port Harcourt. It's going to divert into Anambra. As we say in Igbo, "Ịma na ọnwụ egbuo ka alụ aka." Eh? So I believe the coming on stream of Anambra Airport and the coming on stream of Ebony Airport, because let's not lose sight. These are the two places I want to go. Ebony is doing another wonders. I think Ebony's runway is about 3.8. So I think it's going to be slightly longer than Anambra State. I wouldn't even mind if they increase it to 4.0, because one thing that when you do something like this, I like people that think big. That's one of the things I think the governor probably did well here. If you go to your if you use your phone now and Google the tallest building in the world, that alone is an advert, because people, kids, adults, everyone does such search, and it's going to throw up Burj Khalifa. That's in the UAE. See, that alone is an advert. If you Google now the longest runway in Nigeria, it's going to throw up an airport for you. So if I were to be in that position, what I would have done would be also to put something that's going to put me in a position when I say the longest runway in Nigeria is going to land me to that particular place. Again, I couldn't say this enough. You knock government when they fail. We don't praise them because they are doing what they ought to do. But at least we'll tap them at the back and say, here, you've done well. It's not only about, yeah, useless, you've not done this, you've not done this. No, 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 no. If they get it right. And in this case, this airport is going to serve public good. It's going to help Anambra State develop, and acceleration. The level of development is going to be phenomenal very soon. Look at people in our nature. Look at people, selling in our nature. And then now they can actually send their cargoes from China, from Hong Kong, from Singapore, from Taiwan, from Germany. They can actually send them directly. Come on, people. If you don't know this, you know, if you don't know this, this is a game changer, because before, if you cargo into Lagos, what are you going to do? You're still going to find a way. Either you truck that um, material, whatever you've cargoed into Lagos or into Abuja, you're going to truck it down to Onitsha. But now you no longer need that. It can actually, many of us, many of you watching, imagine where you begin to use your ancestral, the houses we have in the village that no one lives, the empty spaces we have there, we have garages. Imagine when we begin to convert these things into warehouses. I no longer need to have my HQ in Lagos or Abuja. My HQ can actually be now in my village. You see the thinking there? The resources that's going to come is going to stay within the region. Because before now, if you fly in where you do not have these facilities in the state, what's going to happen is you are going to spend more money outside your place. I was speaking to a friend of mine from the Southwest, and he said that he does not understand why we make so much noise about an airport. And I said, okay, you don't understand. Let me explain to you. I hope you will understand. I said, let's assume you're from Ogun State and you can only fly into Enugu, then find another flight to go to Ogun, or you drive from Enugu to Ogun State. Not that you want it because you want to see the scenery of the whole place. No, but because you are being forced to. And for the first time, he said, And he asked me, how many hours? I said, okay, maybe give or take, it takes you about 6 to 8 hours. And he said, no, that's not. Why would he do that? I said, yeah, stop. That's what we've been doing for so long. When our ancestor, when our leader, when they Sam Bakwe was, so I remember in my, in primary school days, everybody said anything, anything, every little helps to build the Sam Bakwe airport. When we were contributing money to build the Sam Bakwe airport, there was no Anambra, Imo, Ebonyi, Enugu. No, it was a collective. That airport reminded me of Teresa Honora song that goes, so Anambra n'Imo bụ ụmụnne, ana m ekene ihe dịrị anyị dịkwara unu, anana. See, remember that song? That's when we only had Anambra and Imo. That's when we, people. I'm not trying to suggest that we are um, being divisive. No, but I think there was a point that we probably acted more collective as a people as to, or rather opposed to what we do have now. Again, I say people, personally, I am excited. I don't know about you. I am excited to see that this airport is finally here. I am excited to see that, at the end of the day, this promise, you can love and hate Obiano, the governor of Anambra State. I had my issues, I had my moments with him, in terms of when he made the proposition for the first airport with 2 billion. Obviously, I said no. This is total fraud. It's not gonna work. But for me, in all his shortcomings, he has, in my view, redeemed himself with this singular project because Anambra State is not like Benin. Anambra State is not like Akure, other states that have, because other states have airports, right? Other states have airports. But there is something within these states that makes it different, that makes the difference. The difference here is you have a traveling people, you have people that are on the move all the time, on the move every single time. These are who the Anambra State people are. And these are one of they are the leading traders in Nigeria. They are the leading traders in Nigeria. Therefore, having this at home would help a lot, not only to boost the economy of the Southeast and Anambra State in particular, but also create employment, generate revenue. We're all talking about restructuring or regionalism or whatever we call it. But this is it. When you see that when Wike went to court, and I think Budget IT did publish states the level of revenue paid by, or sorry, VAT collected by state, and Anambra was behind Ebonyi in the southeast. That was a shocker to see that Ebonyi, that many people think is at the backyard, collects more revenue, or rather more VAT than Anambra State that has massive industry. All right, okay, if we put the Onitsha market as an industry, and the Atani Road where you have a series of industries there, massive, and many of them yet they're not paying enough. So whoever is going to come in next, this is going to be one of the things you're going to do. We must push and push that international airlines will begin to come in here. Thanks to APs, Allen Onyema, for doing this. I know it's business, but again, it takes a lot of guts as well. You're not the only, or rather, he is not the only airline operator in Nigeria, but at least he's taking this to heart, and all the promises made is basically delivered. And I cannot be excited enough to now fly in and know that within 30 minutes, people, within 30 minutes, you're home and dry. Come on. You come out of the airport, within 30 minutes, you're home. That has never happened in the last 30, 40, 50 years. But now, in our generation, it's happening for the first time. Before now, about 20 years ago, actually, what am I saying? Until Ethiopia started coming into Enugu, the closest we have flown in from outside Nigeria the into Anibo is from Port Harcourt. I remember then, if either you fly in from with um what's it called, KLM or Air France into Port Harcourt, there was a time they left night and came in early in the morning, 4:30. You're already in Port Harcourt. Then you hang around, you wait, day breaks, then you go home. So we loved it then because most times before 10 o'clock in the morning, you could actually be home because it took about 3 hours from Port Harcourt to my place in Anambra State. So we were happy. Eventually, Ethiopia Airline came in. It took roughly about an hour, 15 minutes to 2 hours, 15 minutes, depending on your speed and how good the road is to get into your ancestral home. We managed it, but suddenly the runway repairs and COVID pandemic now is opened, traffic reduced, but Anambra State coming on stream personally is the game changer. The game changer. Thank you very much, everyone. Um, okay, let me take some of your comments before I call it a day. I don't want to make this stream so long, people. I don't want to make it so long. Humble Princess Maz, this is international airport. Just for saying, we all know as far as Fulani is power, the national airport stop. It is a national airport stop. You see, I don't want to get into such nonsensical arguments. Sorry, but it's just very silly to get into such argument. Again, if you don't like that Anambra State has an airport, and if you don't like that I'm talking about it, it's a free world. You're free to log off. I mean, it's not. You're not excited that Anambra State has an airport. You're not excited that I'm talking about it. Sorry, it's a free world. You can, you log off. I am excited. You know, they say he who wears the shoe knows where it pinches. Over the years, we know what we've gone through. And again, if even if I want to even if I want to because obviously from your comment I know where you're coming from. If I want to be more upset you the more, I can actually say, well, thanks the federal government for approving the airport. So what about that? Because hate the government or like the government, this airport was approved by this government. If they wanted in their usual way, they could have said no. I'm not saying that they've done anything extraordinary, but hey, when even we had a southern president looked us in the eye as Ndibo and said, you are not going to have an international airport. And who was that southern president? Olusegun Obasanjo. For freaking 8 good years. Olusegun Obasanjo looked Ndibo, the Igbo leaders, face to face, eyeball to eyeball, said, you're not going to have an international airport. Second Niger bridge. Olusegun Obasanjo, in the second term, it's still on this platform. Go and watch the video. Me asked Ekweremadu that question because I've had that rumor from two Igbo leaders. But again, it was in an environment that I was not allowed to record anything. That conversation was somewhat a private conversation, but I needed that confirmation in the public. And Ekweremadu on this platform said, yes, that is true. He was part of those who met him with Emeka Anyoko and co, and he said to them, no, that was a campaign gimmick. He wasn't going to build the second Niger bridge. And what about that? So let's not allow hate to, you know, becloud our sense of reasoning. While I'm not defending anyone here, but I deal with facts. And what we do not like most times is when someone deals with fact, the fact that does not favor your narrative, you begin to, it doesn't bother me anymore that some of you will say, yeah, he's Sabo, he's this, who cares? But again, it doesn't remove fact because fact is what stands the test of time. In the next 10 years, if YouTube and all the platforms remain, go back and bring it back and say, Master, this is what you said on this date, and I will defend it because these are facts. Only took good luck, sorry, it only took a Fulani man in the person of Musa Yaradua to approve Enugu as an international airport. It only took, and you see, that's why sometimes I don't understand it. When some Yorubas argue, oh, Obasanjo, they haven't governed because Obasanjo is Igbo. I'm like, how? By some of the things he did, how can he have an Igbo parentage? You know, but I don't want to get into the ethnic argument. But I'm just basically, putting the facts. So it can dispute that. But it took Jonathan, Yaradua, whom the minister of aviation, I think I've done about 2 years ago. I've done the video actually on an article that described the argument between Jonathan and Yaradua and that minister. You can imagine a president telling a minister, Yaradua, very shocked. You mean the Southeast does not have an international airport? And I think Emeka Nyoko then said, yes, we don't, because these are when the Igbo leaders came to pay him a visit. And he called the Minister of Aviation and said, is this true? If it's true, then let's approve Enugu as an international airport. Minister coming out, even when press asked him, he was still denying what the president told. Doesn't that tell us anything? But again, eventually, Ekremadu then pressed because if I look at the budget then, until FEC approved the upgrade, sadly, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua did not see Enugu in Akanabiam International Airport become an international airport. Job stopped. The rest is history. Good luck took over, and the same people went again. That's where I tell you the only thing Igbo gained from Jonathan is sweet mouth. Visiting the president, Oga President, look, this, we've come just to remind you about the Enugu International, making, the approval to function. And Jonathan said, consider it done. No, not consider it done. He said, my people, consider it done. What we got from him, Jonathan, most times is sweet mouth. But the one where we get now as president, the mouth no sweet. He's a carpenter. Everything in front of him is nail, 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 nail. Efob, that in the circle, 5%. Show are you, show are you. So it's, but in action, in some, I don't want to get, sometimes I don't want to get into the politics so that you don't misunderstand me. In actions, he can hate you, or you can say that he hates you. No state governor in the last 6 years in the Southeast, in Nigeria, can say that they have missed or one kobo was deducted from what they ought to have gotten from the federal government. It has not happened. But not so under Obasanjo. Lagos State had their allocations seized by Obasanjo. Why? Yeah, they created local government LCDA or whatever it's called. And so what? So people, again, me, I am happiness more. If you're not happiness more, please log off. Stop watching me. Me, I am a proud Anambra. I am happiness more. That for the first time, my sisters and my brothers, when they leave their places or at night, somebody can now leave London with Obabani, 10 p.m. Land in Abuja with British Airways, maybe 6:30. 8:30, the person takes another plane, is in Umueri. 8:45, before 10 o'clock, he has joined his kindred meeting in the village. And you say, I won't be happy. My brother, go and look for transformer. Thank you very much, Santa. Thank you very much, Santa Alexo, Alex. Any plan of any airline coming from the US to Anambra airports in the near future? Thank you. Well, thank you for the super chat first, but I do not think, these things are processes, my brother. Now, if we take out sentiment, how these things work is because the airline, because the airport is now functional, there are tests that now will be done by even the NCAA. You know, when they do their calibrations, they do tests. The airline, the airport needs to, I think, carry some, have done some normal, have taken like certain number of local flights, and capacity. There are things that it need to be done over time. You convince international airlines that this is Cat 2, then ICAO will give the Cat 2 certifications and all these things. Then, once they are convinced, of course, even as we speak today, Enugu does not have a certified Cat 2 certification. But yet, Ethiopian airline is coming in. Many of us don't know why and how they breach it and how they come in, because Ethiopia coming in doesn't come in as international flight. Actually, I mean international, but it comes in as a regional flight because it's coming from Addis Ababa. So if not, but in the next couple of weeks and months, I believe Enugu International would also get ICO certified, because I understand that after some of the testings of the night landing and some certifications when obtained, will now allow ICO to fly in. And this is, these people that issue these certifications are in Canada, so it's not like they are local. Obviously, it could have gone more faster if not for COVID. But here we have COVID. COVID, obviously, travel restrictions, some of these things. But hey, people, let's not be like. I know, like myself, I'm always in a hurry as well. I want things that ought to happen tomorrow. Let it be happening today. Today, ideally, I would have wanted Lufthansa, British Airways, and maybe Turkish Airways and Malaysian airline or Singapore Air, I don't care, to fly into Anambra this Christmas. But hey, I can assure you, now I'm beginning to speak like president. I can assure you it's not going to happen this Christmas, but maybe I see no reason why it wouldn't, if nothing goes wrong, if we have a governor that is sensible after the election. We'll have someone who is clued on, who also buys, because you need to buy into this level of project for things to happen. You need to be able to make calls. Say, Minister of Aviation, I'm checking on this. Chairman of NCAA, I'm checking on this. There are things you need to chase up. It's normal. Nigeria, let's not forget, is still a third world country. So, Alex, I believe not this year, but eventually I believe it is going to happen. So, second super chart. Actually, let me take only super chart questions. Tony. Okay, Tony, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker. I mean, I believe many of us are basically just happy. Uh, guys, you're funny. I can't. Okay, so people. Oh, testing 1 2 3. What a name! Thank you very much for the super chart. He says, "Let me take your question. This development or any in our neighbor is welcome. Having been battered by successive foolish leadership in our neighbor, this is something to smile about." I agree, my brother. I agree, and that's why I started by saying, you know, I have dedicated my time and my energy and my resources in ensuring that everything happening in our neighbor is reported, the good, the bad, the ugly. Most times you go around looking for the good to report. There is nothing good happening. You know, Uh, uh, people of our band here always, Abia people always ask me, Mazi, why do I go to other states but I don't come to Abia? I say it's not true because I report from on Omar, I report from Omar, I go to, but I don't go to Aba. Why? Sorry. I want them to prove me wrong. I say because there is not. Most times I want to report something good, but the challenge is there is nothing good to report. Sorry. So, but the day Abba will challenge me with something good, something worth reporting, bet you me, you will see me unannounced because that's the way I roll. I don't get into a state announcing that I'm coming, and so that the governor or anyone will say, "Okay, come, we'll bring car. Let us take you around." No, 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 no. Don't take me. I get eye. I have camera, and I have people with me. So let us go on our own. Ask question, and that's what differentiates us. We go in there, we ask questions, and most times some of you don't like the questions. Hey, but what can you do? So testing 1 2 3. Thank you very much for the super chat. So more questions. Igbos have to go cap in hand begging for an airport when every town. That again is not true. It's not true that every town in the north has airport. That's a fallacy. Um, I'm not here to. I'm not here to. You know. Uh, about states. Let me do something here because facts sets us free. Facts, and if we argue less with emotion, we will get somewhere. Let me quickly go to Wikipedia. I believe Anambra State Airport is not yet published on Wikipedia, but um, let's quickly see. And it's also not true that federal government builds the airports in the north as well. State governments do. But like us, people do take loan. But again, the my point of reference is always is till now I do not still understand why Obasanjo did the things he did. Honestly, I still do not comprehend it. I still do not understand it. Why Obasanjo had to do those things that he did. Having said that, if I look at the things Obasanjo did against Ndibo, if I look at, yes, he empowered individuals. If I look at what Buhari, by his mentality and by the way he views Ndibo, and I think I can see something in common. And that thing in common is their participation in the civil war. And it had led me many years ago, I had argued several times that for us to move forward as a people, no one who took part in the civil war from south, east, west, and north. should ever come close to power or anything that has to do with building a nation. They are the people that when you talk about, I'm not happy in this union, let's demand for referendum. In their mind, something goes bing, they think of gun, they think of shooting, they think of killing. They are not civil. They're not fit for civil governance. You can see the difference between Obasanjo, Yaradua, Goodluck, and Buhari. Buhari and Obasanjo are almost like Apa. Odi, all these things will talk happening in Izombe now. Odi under Obasanjo. Have we forgotten? Odi was wiped out. Even Bayasa, Sote, what's it called? One of these was this Niger Delta guy, the mama soldier, Timaya. Sote Timaya had to sing about what happened in his community. Have we forgotten what Obasanjo did in Zakibian? Is it different from what is happening in Izombe? No. Is it different from what happened in Obibo? No. Why? Because these people are configured in certain ways. Therefore, they are not fit for civil governance. Be it Obasanjo, be it Buhari, they are not fit for civil governance. Military hangover. Now everybody is clamoring for those walking around with the walking stick, maybe probably with the pampers. Suddenly, some people who are 95 can now become 65 because they want to be who drink you again. They are also part of the military hangover. I'm not going to say their names. You know them all. Anyway, so people, uh, no, people, calm down. You know, we can always say truth without being Egodin Ndeche Egodi says Abba will surprise me. You know, a man from Nnewi was told Otoloba Agidia. He replied, Otoloba Mkamfunanya. Abba will surprise me. Please, Abba, I beg you, surprise me. We're talking about Anambra Airport that started about 2 years ago. Finished. Being used in 3 days' time, right? Or before this. No, 3 days' time. Under Theodoji, on his 60th year as a governor, he started Abia Airport. This is plus 60 plus 2 plus 6. No, that's about 8 years ago. Now, Abba, Ndabia, have you people actually cleared that land for the airport? So Abba will surprise me. Please, Abba, surprise me with an airport. The next move, I once interviewed, and the video is here. Ozo, was his name again? Enyimbasi. Listen, there is something happening. That's one thing that's actually interesting. The Enyimba City project. Google it. Just go to Njenje Media, you'll see it. It's a fantastic presentation. The Enyimba City project. These are the type of things that interest me. Where we can actually forget some of these things happening at the federal level. Come home. Build from ground up. Nobody's going to take it away from you. No one. Can we just make less noise? Come home. We have the capacity. We can find funding models. The last time I was in a meeting with Professor Ositobu, who is the chairman of Alibo Development Foundation. Now, even I think they moved away, they're now into the implementation stage. They now have, I think it's called Anibo Development, no, sorry, not Alibo, Alibo Stabilization Fund, sorry. Alibo Stabilization Fund. which was engineered by Professor Charles Soludo, eventually handed over to Professor Obu, a brilliant erudite professor at UNN, and he's also doing a fantastic job. But these are things, sometimes the noise the decibel you hear everywhere, everybody's just talking the same thing, talking the same thing, talking the same thing. But the real development where we should channel energy and harness our diaspora resources, channel them into development where if we are able to sell shares, if we're able to actually convince people, let's see, for instance, let's every diaspora invest $500, £350 or £400 into this fund. It's an investment. You get money, you get shares, you get returns. Take Enugu on H Expressway, for instance. If we invest it, make it one of the best in the country, damn the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Do I need them for? If my resources can build it, I'm not asking you to. If you want to use a Lungu government road, go to the old road from Oka. You, of course, you can still get to Enugu. But if you have a very sound car that has speed lane departure, that has traction control, everything, that even have auto cruise. Many of you don't know that you can come in now into your car, set it up, and relax. Your car will be driving. When it comes close to another car, the car will brake itself. This is not even automatic. It's Mercedes. Mercedes called them, I think, is not auto drive. The name, yeah, Mercedes. Various companies call them. There's different. Volvo SC90, Volvo SC60. Some of them have these things. Some range have them. You can dig. Your cars can drive you. So why sometimes we'll just we'll argue over nothing? And I'm like, I wish we can forget this center for 1 minute and concentrate and think, what can we do for ourselves? Hence, I think initially I had issues with the governor when he didn't allow anybody to get into the airport. And we're saying, well, make we see. And actually, he made us see because he surprised everyone. He surprised myself too. Not necessarily. Ken Riba says, under Nigerian setting at the moment, investing in Nigeria na high risk. Not necessarily. You see, I'm not going to give my 1 penny to the federal government. But if we have a well-structured platform of investing for collective goods where we also make money, again, I must emphasize it's not charity. When you go to, for instance, when I fly into America, I go to I'm a preferred Avis partner. I go there as a frequent flyer. I go to the airport there. I go to the counter. They give me a car key that I've taken. There is something they mount like this at the top of the windscreen. So anytime there are roads when I drive on them, they charge me. It's not free. But when I return that car at the airport, flying out of America again, they give me the bill because already on booking that car, my credit card has already been imputed into the system. I get charged. Why am I going to complain? I enjoyed good roads. So if I enjoy good roads, then I pay for it. Why would I be talking about it got to be free, 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 free? I don't, honestly, if some state wants to make theirs free, fine. But if you want to get value for your money, if really, really, I, I know many of you disagree with my thesis on this, but I am of the opinion that when things actually begins to work, when we begin to actually pay proper tithe, we get more angry to hold people responsible. I'll give us an example. As it is today, if you come into an average person's home in Nigeria, today in Nigeria, and you see two air conditions running simultaneously, and that person is not running generator, there are two things. It means that person is not using prepaid meter or that person is bypassing NEPA. Take it to the bank. That is the scenario. Why? Because if you see where two air conditions are running simultaneously in a house that has prepared meter, hey, then we say Papa of the house no they around. I tell you, because you cannot in this condition. I'm not saying all these plutocrats. I'm not saying those big men that have billions. No, I mean those people of modest means. Air condition is not luxury, but at least someone who can afford to have air condition run in their homes. You know why is that happening? Because the prepared meter controls what you do, and that is when you will now see that somebody goes out from room A, he will switch off the light and go in room B. Reason because if he leaves the light on, the money is going. The same people were people who were laughing when the first time they visit America or Europe or whatever. They say, in this Europe, hey, now wow, every time they go in, they turn off the light. I say, why? Why you keep complaining that people go from one room to the other and turn off the light is because you do not pay for NEPA bill. But when you start paying, your body go tell you, say, who sing that song? They know they tell the person, yeah. They know they tell person. Your body go tell you truth. So the only way, and what I see is, if Lagos Ibadan Expressway will be concessioned in a way that, and in the concessioning agreement will be, if we see pothole and the pothole damages your wheel rim, that by law, the management of that expressway must replace your car and pay the damages. Or, sorry, must replace your rim and pay the damages. That is the only way they will basically have cars, trucks, or cameras monitoring the street, making sure that there are no debris on the street as they do at the airport. Because if an aircraft wants to take off and hits a debris and something happens, because there are people who have that contract, it is their job. Insurances are there. If because of that debris at the airport that made that plane to crash, you can see the cost of it. So these are things I think would help us get get there. Um, I'm liking this conversation this evening. People, you may wish to call in if you so wish, but I was thinking I would stop. Okay. Let me take these questions. A political unstable country, environmentally not ready, security, the risk is almost endless. I do agree with you, my brother. But I think also, before the incident of on men no gun men, on gun no men, before the incident of on gun no men, the Southeast has been adjudged the most safest region in Nigeria. You can also see that with the level of um, inflow of money and tourism that come into that region. Yet, the Southeast was part of a nation that had a full blown war ravaging one of its regions, the Northeast, and banditry, kidnappers ravaging Northwest. Yet, it was the same region. My argument and my thesis remains. If we didn't deteriorate to what we have today, if we had maintained that and secured our place, as long as it's certain regions, yes. In the United Kingdom, for instance, you want to buy a car insurance. Are you aware that what they call postcode, Americans call them zip code, you know, there are certain postcode, meaning there are certain areas when you put them in, your car insurance goes down by half. And there are areas when you put this postcode in, alarm will be ringing everywhere. In fact, they will almost arrest you, or they may even reject your insurance because they know, ah, 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 if we give this one insurance, the tendency that we will buy this car again is over 50%. But the other one is the tendency that even in the next 10 years, they might not even buy, is there. So you see, these are things that I believe not everything we can basically, not everything that we can basically throw out just like that. Um, Beleveda, I think I've answered your question. Some of you are really. Uh, say Anambra State, no election in Anambra State. That's no election is your own is your own decision. It makes no sense for you to avoid Anambra State election, but if you must avoid Anambra State election, stay at home. I can tell you. Um, if you don't want to meet your ancestors, please allow people to vote in peace because disrupting them from voting might lead you see your ancestors untimely. Honestly, So thank you very even here in Ireland. So I don't know what you mean even here in Ireland, but whichever way, I think if we pay more attention to developing our region, whatever you say, I am sold. Adazion says I should not mention America and Nigeria. You cannot on my platform tell me what to say and what not to say. I will have to mention it. If you don't like it, sorry, I can help you. Honestly. Eh? So nobody's going to vote. Okay, don't vote now, but people will vote and there will be governors. It's as simple as that. Hate, like it. It's it's something that's already happened. And even if you boycott the election, it's not going to help you anything. It's not going to help your cause. It's not. It's just total for me. It makes absolute no sense. But that's okay. Yeah, about the postcode. Yes, it says it's the same thing in Ireland. Again, exactly. So now, SO, if you take that same principle of postcode and insurance, it means that if I'm importing into yes, it's the same country, but I am importing into a region that is a very volatile region, the tendency that I would pay high is more than when I import into a region that is not volatile. And again, I keep saying it, investment wise, because we are good investors, it behoves on you and I to ensure that Southeast is secured. And if Southeast is secured, our investment will be as well, even when we are in a chaotic nation. You know, if, let's say, for instance, if the madness happening with Bandit and the nonsense Gumi and Co are talking about, and even the uselessness of the federal government in doing the needful, if it continues, it might get to a point that certain airports in this country, closer to some proximities, insurances that cover those aircraft would increase. You might see that these aircraft you see now, nobody has actually, you see, when you go to, let me show us this. I just saw this today and I didn't take note of this before, but when I saw it, where did I see that again? On AP's website. Where was it? I saw something that really got my attention. How they where was that again? Uh, Something that got my attention at AP's, how they, sh- how they displayed the places they were flying into. Okay. Yes, I've seen it now. Let me make a point here. I believe let me bring this in. Let me make a point here. Okay. And this is Airpiece, right? Now, watch out here. See if I can make it bigger. Oh, okay. Okay, so people, now this is earpiece, right? Oh, shit. Now when I zoom it, okay, okay, this is earpiece. And does it say anything to you that you can see one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, all in southern Nigeria? Their roots, the roots, they fly. Here is middle. Kaduna is on the outskirts, and this is, I believe, is Yola, right here. How come that they concentrate here? You can, if you follow this line, must everything be said in black and white before we actually understand what is happening? Do you know that insurance covering flights one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, and insurance covering one, two could be different, yet it is still in the same country? Don't you know that that is a possibility? I'm saying a possibility without saying categorically because I know I do not have the facts as if it is applicable now, but I know it is a possibility of how these things work. So some of us are conspiracy theorists. He's saying that Obasanjo's son of Onyejekwe. So again, I ask if Obasanjo was fathered by Onye. So is it that he was angry that his father is Igbo? That's why he treated us in the Igbo with infrastructure the way he did. Let no one come here to tell me that Obasanjo empowered in the Igbo. No. Obasanjo empowered few clonings. He empowered few cronies. Few cronies. Those that some of them were PA for bedroom. Some of them were, let me not say what they were, but few people, few cronies. But if you just oppose him with Buhari, Buhari is a not empowering anybody. But those projects that others have failed to do, you might disagree again, sadly, whether you like it or not. He's doing them. So which one is actually better? The one that empower few people and do nothing, or the one that empower nobody and do some few projects? I don't know. It's you be the judge. You be the judge. uh, um, hmm. It's Adazion says, I can tell you that I can tell you what to I can't tell you what to say any day. Respect your senior. That said, Adia said that I admire the fact that you show tolerance towards critics. Of course, come on. We almost not share the same. You see, one thing is, on this, if I think a particular station doesn't enrich me in any way, shape, or form, I actually don't go there and I don't subscribe. I believe, but I can also not go on somebody's platform or a company's platform and begin to, insult everything or insult anything they do. Many of us don't actually know why Channels TV have actually blocked when they stream now. You go to Channels TV on YouTube, you cannot comment. It's just basically because of some of the um, foul languages and some incendiary comments people make. But here, no worry. You see, over time, they say what an adult what an elder sees sitting down when a child climbs the Iroko tree, that child might still struggle to see same. Not to say that one it's wiser than the others, but again, I think over time and experience, you know, one begins to mellow down on some certain things, and we must realize. I remember I was complaining. Somebody asked me, asked me a question. I said, Maz, but do you think Nigeria is actually those countries that you make comparison to? And I replied by saying, well, do they have two heads? Why can't we even outperform them and even be more than they are doing? Now, that alone got me thinking, not thinking that he is entirely right, but he gave me a deeper understanding of looking that actually there are ways nation can develop. I give you an example. In Europe, for instance, I have gone across almost all the countries in Europe. And one thing that I keep saying, if you have lived in mainland Europe, for instance, if you lived like Sweden, no, okay, no, so not Sweden. If you live like um, Netherlands, maybe Germany, Swiss, or Austria, these are Europe. These are countries in Europe. Then you go to countries like the United Kingdom, especially in England or London to be precise. You find out that this is still Europe, but things are a little bit different. Things are different because you look at it, they're not the same. It's not the same. The development doesn't match. A friend said something one day that I didn't think about. He lived in Germany. Eventually, he moved to United Kingdom, and we're having a discussion one day. He said, "Listen, the houses in in the United Kingdom," he says, anytime he wants to unplug his charger from the wall, he will hold the socket. And I'm like, why? I said, because he's not, he couldn't tell when he would want to unplug it, and the whole thing will come off. But this is something he doesn't think about in Germany because of the quality. But you cannot compare that to. So people, I think, let every country develop at their own pace. If at the end of the day, if we want the best for ourselves and we are building it within our regions, and others say, okay, they want to have a runway with Lafia roof. So be it. After all, Port Harcourt, the beautiful Port Harcourt airport now. Many of you didn't know that there was a time. There was a time I actually flew with my family through Port Harcourt. Looked, my daughter looked at the airport and asked me, "That is this an airport?" But that's funny because she knows airports to be something much better than what she met in Port Harcourt. On a serious note, so we wrote, everybody criticized it, but eventually, luckily so, the Chinese came to the rescue. Part of the $500 million Chinese loan that was taken under Goodluck Jonathan was then used to fix that airport. My conclusion here is that I have at some point, after, you cannot get angry and probably kill yourself over nothing. I've been angry with Nigeria for so long, because things, especially if you have ever lived outside Nigeria, if you ever lived outside Nigeria, you will never be happy with Nigeria because things are developing slow. Things are not moving fast the way they should. But Maturity at some point comes to a point that you begin to realize you're actually wanting us to go into marathon. You're actually wanting us to go for run for 5 kilometers. The person you are preparing to run 5 kilometers just finished drinking fermented burukutu. He hasn't trained in the last 60 years. The person is asleep after drinking fermented burukutu. So you are not even thinking of pouring water, wake him up, and let him open his eyes. You are talking of running 5 kilometers. So, my brothers, let us be coming down. All of us here, probably those angry, I was like that. We want to run 5 kilometers. But I'm telling you, the patient is almost in coma. The patient called Nigeria is almost dead. The only country I know that this airport we are talking about, everything is sparkling. I went to Enugu International Airport and they said everything is COVID compliant. I showed us the video because my own is I know they hide. That's why sometimes they know they agree me coming. COVID compliant, you put your hand like this. The soap dispenser that is sensor inbuilt ought to drop the soap in your hand. I put the first one. Soap would be like waiting NEPA they drag. In Nigeria that time, would they drive? Your speedometer if you don't break myself, you don't know. Suddenly, it's only in Nigeria that you actually drive a car to a point of fuel finishing because there is no filling station, fuel scarcity. So I put my hand, the thing they drag like person where Akoko they do. The soap no Greek come out. I called the person and said, but I thought these things you said is you are ready for commissioning of the airport. He said, oh no, it's working. He came, I said, okay, test it. Maybe my hand is too cold. The guy put hand, nothing. I said to him, okay, what happened? You know what? You know the reply. The video is still on YouTube. Go and watch it. He said he worked in the morning. I said, Nigeria no go kill me. Wallahi, Nigeria no go kill me. I have a caller here. Mr. Caller, who am I speaking to? Please, can you speak up? Who am I speaking to? You're listening to Mazes Okay Life here. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
The Anambra airport, is it working or start working on Saturday?
Have you been watching me?
Yeah, I'm watching you, but I just came inside. I just came back now. I opened the TV, so I saw, I don't know, I hear when you are mentioning Anambra airport. I don't know.
Okay, the airport will start commercial operation on the 30th on Saturday.
Okay, this Saturday.
Yes.
Mazi, will international flights come there?
No, because it's for commercial operation for local. The international will come afterwards.
Okay. Wow. I'm very, very happy.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you very much for your call. So, people, oh dear, thank you everyone that's made my evening. I can. Papa bin Nonye Dot, why are you laughing? That airport had cow run. Bless you. You see, just now that everybody listen, Bellaveda, you're actually right. Air France actually ran into cows at the Port Harcourt International Airport. Air France. If it's just that Ruga, Fulanization, Cowrie, everything has taken over the narrative. Sometimes I just think back, if not today, cow enter runway, jam Air France. I don't know. Honestly, I don't want to imagine the headlines that will be popping up everywhere. I don't want to. But as of that time, cows, wasn't the issue. But after that incident, in fairness, I think they contracted the airport to be fenced. I hope Anambra Airport is fenced. So I hope, because we don't want to be we don't want to be landing and we hear moo and somebody I go come kai. What thing I they do for runway ni? Eh? Please let us save our souls before somebody and pilot will be landing. And he go see cow. He said, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, we are not going to land now. We are going to go back to Addis Ababa because there are cows rioting on the runway. I'm just kidding. I hope we I hope we won't get to that point. But again, people, as a recap here, everyone, the Anambra State Airport is coming on stream on Saturday. There is going to be official opening, or rather, the official opening with commercial flights, airpiece landing in from Lagos and Abuja on that date. What a feat to have done. I mean, I think without being immodest, unless Ebonyi State beats this record, it will remain on record as the fastest built airport in Nigeria. If Ebonyi State does not beat this record, Anambra State Airport will remain in the history the fastest built airport in Nigeria. Asaba was built over to governors Boris. Is it Boris? What's it called? What's that thief? Sorry, did I call him thief? Well, if court called him thief, so waiting be my own. Ibori started it. Odwaram, the one Nadwakanon, finished it. But here, P2B started it by acquiring the land, and P2B constituted the panel that moved the Anambra Airport from Oba to Umweri. Obviously, he didn't see it fit. He thought it wasn't needed. Well, many of us disagreed with him, but hey, everybody won't be the same. He has done what he did, and I'm happy that Obiano at least started it and finished it, functional. The next thing will be the next person that will come in will now have to. Yeah, hello. Hello, who am I speaking to?
I'm Emmanuel, calling from Spain.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm so glad to see that to Anambra Airport is about to open on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So I thank God for everything.
You may soon fly. Now it is going to be easier for you. You fly from Madrid to Abuja or Lagos, then and you connect to Anambra, so you go home within 30 minutes.
Okay. When are they going to open the international line? I mean, international flights coming there?
Make the Pekin walk first now. The Pekin never walk with the talk of the Pekin, they go quiet. The Pekin never walk.
When the Pekin walk, we need them. We need them more gently. Man, the one they got will help us. They will still put seaport for us so that we Southeasterners will really come back to our home and stay.
No.
So these are the things that scare us away.
Did you watch my interview with Ifanyuba?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, but if you did and you paid attention, you would have heard where he said it.
He said that it's impossible for we to
exactly.
Get on the show.
No, exactly. But when he said that, and I had some other conversation back channel with people that know actually. He might be. Some of us might be disappointed, but he's right.
Is that so?
Yeah, because
they are telling us that ship is batting there.
Nah, those ones are APC propaganda. It's not going to work.
Wonderful.
Those ones are APC propaganda. It's not going to work. But again, I think one of the things he said that made sense was, you can strike strategic alliance. Look at Delta. Look at Akwa, because there, when you talk about Delta, you talk about Warri and all the. There are areas that these things can come in. You can strike strategic alliance and find ways to convey things either by, because it is easier for me to convey my goods from Warri, or sorry, from Port Harcourt to Anambra, as opposed to Lagos to one, the distance and all the rest. But again, leaders, we should be, should be thinking, what stops us from actually doing a regional rail line that is not the one government does? But again, when people want to steal money, they won't want to do these things.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying.
But the policy in Nigeria cannot even allow them to do so. The policy.
No. I disagree with that policy. You know why? It's something we haven't tried. Do you know that federal roads are for federal government, but today states go in and do federal roads, even when the law says it's federal road? Now, hold on. Whether you took permission, that's now. Have we seen Southeast governors, 5 of them, come together, say, every month, let us put 100 million aside. That's $500 million every month. And in 2 years, let us start building intercity rail lines. Have you seen any of them apply to the federal government, and federal government said no? Do you know that airport? No, hold on. Do you know that airport is in the exclusive list?
Yes, of course.
But how come Anambra State built an airport? How come? Because when we begin to ask these questions and push, I'm not taking it anymore. I know that I had issues with when Uduagam and Peter Obi were governors. See, all this thing we talk about second Niger bridge, they could have built a fourth Niger bridge if they had wanted. Everything is about negotiation, and everything is about communication and the zeal. Now, if federal government say, I won't do it, I won't authorize it, engage the media, go to court. Before Wike got this VAT stuff, if anybody had told you, oh, it's federal government, no, don't. But have you tested it in the law court? Have you failed? Lagos State got the right of waterway. They didn't get it by just saying, oh, it is in the exclusive. No, they went to court. They challenged. And do you know who did it? The same person who is your vice president today, in the person of Professor Yemi Osibanjo. Exactly. So these things are not, in as much as I understand, there are impediments in federating, when you talk about a federating unit, basically Nigeria is actually not practicing this. But while you wait for the unbundling, untangling, and going into regional governance, I know some of you who start saying whatever you say online. I prefer regional governance. I mean, you prefer whatever you prefer. I'm telling you what I prefer, right? So before we get to that point, because folding in your hand, say, no, we're not going to do anything. Don't worry. When we get our country, we do it. I think that's a lazy man's approach. Because you must.
Excuse me, now that Anambra have built their airport,
Yes.
and airport belongs to the state.
Yes.
But is it Anambra that's going to take care of, the tax payment that coming there, or federal government?
Now, these are where arrangements are made. Say, for instance, there are customs at that airport. There are things the state will take. There are things federal government will take. Okay? So it's not like federal government comes in now, it takes everything, then Anambra State folds their hands and look. No. People have shops there, right? There are arrangements, I believe, and probably when I have the Commissioner of Information of Anambra State, have him here again, I'll ask, to get more factual details. If he has it, I'll get that detail. But I believe there are arrangements that definitely is part of the deal. You can't just build and somebody takes. I know, like, part of the in federal arrangement, you don't control the army, you don't control the customs, you don't control the. So now, if Anambra State cargo airport starts, cargo starts coming in, obviously you will need their customs. States don't have customs. Now they have to now send in federal customs. It's everywhere in the world. Even if you go to America today, the customs. Even if in Spain, the customs is not Barcelona custom. It's a national. No, of course, it's not a Madrid. It's a national setup. So sometimes when we argue out of emotions, sometimes we lose sight of some of these clarification. Mm.
We're happy anyway. We thank God for this one first.
So with this one, I hope you'll be coming home for Christmas.
Definitely, I have my ticket already, but it's too for now.
Oh, okay. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, but if they don't fix Enugu, you have to build in. You have to know that when he lands up, he land in Enugu about 12:15 or 12:30. It means before you get down to your village, maybe if you're from Anambra, maybe to be around 5-6 because of bad road.
I'm from Coast City already. I'm from Coast City.
Okay. Then your you see, it's fine.
But my happiness that we need, as far as
We need more. Listen,
that's 5 states, we need international effort.
we need more. The more, the merrier, because
Every state will have their own effort, and it will make it more competitive so that the price will be low.
you understand it. You understand it because you see, let me tell you, there are things I know happening in Enugu State and the way the government is handling some things that obviously not for public consumption, that I believe Enugu State government will wake up. Now Anambra has come on stream. The moment Ebony comes on stream, if Enugu government,
We don't have governor.
Hold on.
We have it, so yeah.
so if the Enugu State governor begins to do what they do before now, you see all the passengers, and you might even see, because now, if the things international airlines need to come into Enugu are not there, and Anambra offers them that, Ebonyi offers them that. Nwanne m nwe onye na-afọ ebe a na-echi ọzọ jebe ebe ọ na-arụ agwụ. It doesn't happen. Of course, you go to where they give you the facilities. You are there to make profit. You're there to make money. It's not emotion.
That's the competition we're talking about now.
Mm.
So we need it.
Exactly.
It will help us. It will help us, and it brings more development.
You can actually relocate from this now, become, if cargo is stable and you know that cargo is stable, you become, listen, why do many people actually leave Anibo to go to Lagos? When you see
Because
people,
of
they say,
effort
exactly,
and seaport.
airport and seaport.
There's these two things.
And you see
These two
people, and you see people say, no, I'm a clearing agent. If we had opportunity of clearing something somewhere else, if you think the person is happy living in Amokoko,
village.
Okoko, Maiko, and be driving 5 hours and getting to a Papa or whatever, that person is not happy. But if you are there, you can actually, you built a house in your village, you can actually live in your village, rent free, and operate. Yeah.
So, well,
anyway, thank you very much for the comment.
And thank you too for answering me, my brother. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So people, you can see that some people are happy. Some people think we are being silly and stupid by saying that Anambra State Airport is functional and that we are happy that it's functional. Again, you see, when we talk about development, the development is there. Are you going to uproot it and take it to Castina or take it to Abuja? No, it's there. The license is there. When the fake news were going around, that they denied Anambra State license to land, I say it's not true. It cannot be. Reason is, the same person that granted you that license to operate cannot just deny you without any reason. It actually has gone beyond his own powers. It's about the regulators. If you get certain things done, then they would obviously allow you to fly. So NCAA, when they came in, they saw that these things were working and they approved it. Hello, who am I speaking to? Mazes, okay, speaking.
My first time caller.
Okay, you're welcome to the program.
I'm calling from London, UK.
Thank you for calling.
I'm your one of your biggest fans. I love watching you.
Thank you.
With your onion dot. I'm from Imo State anyway.
I'm the dotted one.
State. Yeah, I missed. I was trying to get ahead of you, maybe I'm a UK. It was this year, but I couldn't. Yeah, good thing is when you're talking, I like to listen to you a lot because of your wide experience. Our people, I think everybody in Nigeria is broken. We want the best,
sure,
but we don't know how to get the best.
And we don't even want to pay for it, actually.
And we don't even know what want to pay for it. I live in London. I've spent over 22 years over here.
Mm-hmm.
I come home every Christmas, 2 times a year. I've set up a business in Nigeria before. I understand how this thing works. But there's a narrative I know about certain things. Say, okay, the bridge, the second Niger bridge, the seaports, this. We don't do, we don't understand this. What you're saying today, when you have one, appreciate that one and ask for more. If you go around looking for number 10 where you haven't got number 1, doesn't make sense. We are too quick and good to say, oh, that person name is there, this person name is there. From here, like Christmas, everybody, one of us here, we are thinking, now you going. Everybody's scared because of the news coming out from the east. You don't know if you're, because say they go low to start with. But I'll tell you, our people, we argue with so much emotion and forget the simple, basic things. We don't have a single road in Nigeria. So every time we keep blaming the central, I think it's about time we hold, like you said, all these 5 eastern governors say, no, these guys, the allocation has never been missed, like you said. Why and what are you doing with these allocations? What are you doing with it? So there will be better placed position to answer these questions. But with the airport in Anambra State, it's a very, very fantastic news. We can only count 1 before we count 10. In abroad, and I say people, I think we don't need to start comparing ourselves with this UK, Madrid, and America. And these guys are way far ahead of us. So, but the basic we have, I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow night. As again, something happened to Anambra State airport, just to make a point. So you're doing a fantastic job.
Please,
very, very
please don't bring some people into a bad idea. Please, nothing will happen to Anambra State Airport. Please, no. Listen, like when I said, when some of these things happening today, when they started, I actually spoke against the destruction of police stations, and people attacked me, and I said, no, I'm a builder. I am a builder. Till tomorrow, my conviction that it is wrong to attack the police formation, no matter how aggrieved you are. And come to think of it, in the most Igbo community, we actually built these police stations and post offices and handed them over. The community secondary schools, we communities built them. The one in my community was built in 1976 by Star United Club. This is a club of my, my parents came together, say, no, we need a secondary school. And maybe government wasn't forthcoming. They built it. And we're forgetting that the East was the same people that community contributed money and sent people abroad. Go and read the Arrow of God.
Yeah.
So when when we understand as a people that build from community, and suddenly, just like when Dr. Nanda Azikiwe came back, look at those that came to welcome him. His own people, people that really cared. And suddenly, when these things started happening, rather than us to say, no, this is wrong, whoever was behind it must stop. Then
Must
some of
stop.
some of us cheered it up. I'm like, it's for me, it smacks of the when we talk about the mbozo, cricket, mbozo,
Yeah.
ịhụnye ya n'ọkụ, mbozo na-agba ọkụ n'aha mmanụ sị na ọ na-agbanyụ ọkụ, but it's just basically
He's killing himself. He's
exactly.
dying
So
slowly.
because if some of these things are happening because we are not happy, I do not believe that most of them were done by but if it's happening because we are not happy, and I don't know why am I stabbing myself then. If I'm not happy, then I stab myself, then I'm an idiot. But hey,
Yeah,
that's
yes, Maz, I have a very, very serious personal question. I will ask you.
yes.
I'm going to ask on air because having lived abroad, don't know you have been everywhere. You studied in Germany, if I'm not wrong. How long have you been living in Nigeria steadily? How long have you been?
Not necessarily steady is off and on because as a project manager I travel around the globe. So
Yeah.
it's
So
okay.
yeah, again, would you advise somebody in these circumstances with how Nigeria is at this point in time, having lived abroad for all these years, of my families and kids and here? Do you see any better if I'm talking to my boy, say, okay, I want you, I have a plan. Can you let me put it this way. You know my advice, or would you see Nigeria having a different route in next 10 years? Because for the past 50 years, like I said, Nigeria is going backwards.
Yes.
Can you see something? Can you see something in next 10 years? Let's say in 2023, we'll have. Can you see something you could say, there's a light at the end of the tunnel?
I wouldn't say light again at the end of the tunnel, but I would say the following.
But
What we have now is a combination of factors. And the bigger part of that factor is the president
yeah,
and the blocked ear.
yeah.
So
Is
that's
that intentional?
sorry?
Is that intentional? Him not listening, not
Whoa.
minding anybody? Is that intentional or just him?
No, it's hard for me, I want to be very, 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 very objective, very emotions. Very emotions.
Yeah.
It will be hard to tell you if that's it intentional, if that is his life. Because you know what? If you go back and test him when he was president before,
yeah,
it was some of these things he was doing was there, but he had someone who actually was taking that decision. But now,
right.
I think it's a combination of that. Someone who is stuck in the past, because I don't know if you were here when I analyzed him and Obasanjo to say that
yes, yeah, yes,
they are stuck. They are
watching,
stuck in that military mentality. Now,
then that can never be good with us as a nation.
exactly. So that's why I said that anyone, if Nigeria has to remain one after 2023, anyone that has to be the Nigerian president, listen, even if you have joined Boy Scout before, you should not.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, if Nigerians are wiser, they must demand that anybody that has to be Nigerian president must be somebody born after the war.
Yes, that's a good start.
You know what? You know why? Because there are some of the things that I hear people talk about on either side, on both sides. On both sides. I won't mention their names. Even from the south, there are things I hear when I interview some people privately. And
Yeah.
They say some things and I clinch. You can see
Thinking, where are you coming from? Where
they are still stuck somewhere. Hmm? They are still stuck somewhere. So my advice to you is, if you're planning
Yeah.
of if it's relocating, I say, okay,
Yeah.
no buy ticket until 2024. Make we know where we they go. I'm being
Right.
but now caveat. If it's
Yeah.
about a child going to school in Nigeria,
Yeah.
maybe on a boarding school, why not? But as long as it's within the southeast, it's outside
Yeah.
southeast, I wouldn't advise you to do that.
You would advise that.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you, my man.
Thank you very
I
much.
really enjoy your program. I will be watching behind the scenes now.
Thank you very much for the call. Thank you.
Yes.
So, people, Azuka said, fantasy is different from reality. Colin said, Biafra must come. Thank you. Oh, I have another caller. Another caller. Hello, good evening. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Marcy.
Yes.
Always okay.
Where's okay? Where are you calling me from?
From Holland.
Never na Holland.
Where born now? Oh.
Never na Holland. What are you talking? Never na Holland. Almost no, almost no. Now is 9:30.
Yeah.
I hope you people are not eating cake baked with something. Go ahead, make your contribution. I'm just kidding.
No, I really appreciate hard work on that this airport, and I also appreciate your hard work and your relentless working. I really admire your tenacity because you have the mommy you know about thick skin or you almost had a quick go and keep believe.
But that's why it's a free world now. Everybody cannot be the same, and I appreciate that we are all diverse. You know, I appreciate that.
Yeah, some people we just block you out because I've seen a lot of follow when you speak once they don't once you abuse them or not abuse, but once you use harsh work many times they will just block you out.
No, we don't block people. I've had people here who said that I was Sabo, I am on Igbo, I am this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I follow you. We don't have barometers to watch who barometers to measure who is more Igbo than the other, or who is more whatever than the other. But at the end of the day, time they say time. Yeah. So go ahead, make your contribution. I have another person on the line.
Okay. No, Mark, I don't have any contribution to make. I just want to ask a question. As the other one, I've already had it. Say that before the international airline, the airline will be landing in Enugu, we take for a little while. And I want to ask about this E-Naira business they open. I've tried to listen to it, to understand it through channel and everything, but there are some of our journalists, they are not doing the right interviews.
So when
they are interview people, they don't ask the actual questions of people that we feedback, we teach people that audience will learn something out of it. They will not ask the real question. They will just, sugarcoating the whole story. At the end of the day, you don't get any tangible.
Somebody is saying, sorry, somebody in the comment section is saying it's time to pay tithe. So
Yeah, okay. No problem. That is no problem. Once I get the account number, I will contribute to my own. How money?
Yeah, no worries.
I own, and
No,
I'm area boss.
I appreciate that. I understand.
So my point is this: the e-naira, this thing. If you can get any information about that e-naira or how it work.
Honestly,
E-naira
my understanding of the e-naira, I've downloaded the app. If you go to the app store, e-naira app.
yeah.
So I tried configuring it today with a First Bank account. No, sorry, with an Access Bank account. And I can't remember. I think I was doing it, and the call came in. Something took my mind off it. Now, but again, my understanding so far, I wouldn't tell you that I'm an expert in it. I haven't used it, but I see it. If I if my account doesn't have naira, it won't work. So it is still my money, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
if my account is minus naira, then it's not going to work. And but on a serious note, I think it's a blockchain. Something that is based on a blockchain technology. Like on a blockchain technology that some of the coins, Bitcoin and co, run on. But the difference it will make is where up to now I'm still not clear. Do you understand?
Yeah,
I'm still not
well,
clear
that's
the difference.
we are
Because unless the only thing I'm thinking, if I understood what the CBN governor said very well, is if I use it, I may not be charged, as in the service charge. But again, the charge is how many percent? I don't know, 30 some, I can't remember, 52 or whatever, whenever I transfer money. But the question is, should I use another app just to save 52 naira? So honestly, I am not yet, if I tell you that I have fully understood and embraced it, but I will do, hopefully before the weekend or over the weekend, I'll find time to download it. Oh, sorry, I've downloaded it to find time to configure and actually use it to understand how it works. Maybe then I can answer your question properly.
Okay, if you can, I'm just about to ask if you can invite somebody special, all those the analysis who know much. If we can ask him put some question through.
Okay,
So
I'll try. I'll try. I think the last time I had a conversation with Professor Kinsley Moralo, he tried also explaining it, but he didn't go into greater detail. So, but I don't know. It's
I did participate on that Moralo interview.
Anyway, thank you very much for your call, my brother. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. So the comment sections, somebody's asking if I blocked one man. Maybe I not go bite my tongue. One man went to the mall. No. Why would I? I think it is. Some people call him bandit on YouTube. Some of you are bad. How can you call one man went to the mall bandit? Oh, you guys are funny. No, honestly, I didn't ban him. And what's it called? Someone said I blocked him before. I don't know. For Mazi to have blocked you, wallahi, you probably have gone personal and because there are some insults that if the staff maybe read, they might block you. But me, I act like Jesus. I tell you, over time you will repent. Over time. Over time, because those of you in 2018 that insulted me when I talked about that the solution to this madness in Nigeria is a collective South. Many of you said, he see it, we Sabo, he's this, he's though, he doesn't talk about Biafra, he's talking about Southern Nigeria. 3 years down the line, you're all coming back to senses and knowing that the solution is a collective South. If you add middle belt, a good addendum. If you stay with the collective South, still good. Okay? But again, If I had blocked you then 3 years ago, so you wouldn't be following me. So why would I block you? It's an argument. You argue yours, I argue mine. So that's it. So I have maybe my last caller this evening. Who am I speaking to? You're speaking to Mazes. Okay, this is Ginger Media TV International.
Mazes, okay, my brother.
Yeah, good evening, my brother.
Yeah. In a with David from Germany.
Schönen guten Abend. Before David, before you go ahead, I think sorry, I need to say hello to someone, somebody. Margret Ezoke, na guten Abend. Meine Frau, wie geht's dir? Hoffe, dir geht's gut, ne? Okay, go ahead, my brother.
My brother.
Yeah.
Following you this one. I love your program. And God will bless you. Even because of the voiceless.
Thank you. And what's your contribution, sir?
Yeah, my contribution. Thank God for the Anambra airport that is about to open. And as far as I'm concerned, I think you understand, but it's just a stepping stone. You understand? So let's see how it will go. Because
why you with the airport? How? Why you with the airport? How?
Airport. You understand? But at the time, the international airline was not coming in.
No.
You
need no.
Yeah.
No. You need to understand what happened in Port Harcourt. I mean, what you said is not correct. Port Harcourt was international airport. It got dilapidated. The runway got damaged. So it was closed down for a couple of years. But again, the question is, why was it closed for such a long time? Obviously, Nigeria is a freaking poor country. Really freaking poor country. But we always brag that we are rich. But indeed, it's a poor country. So fund and the little that we have, the looters in the corridors of power will basically take them. So eventually you have no money to have anything done. The reason why Port Harcourt eventually came back on stream was because we took money from China to build or to renovate Abuja, Lagos, Kaduna, Port Harcourt, and Enugu. But the Southeast Senate caucus then pushed for Enugu to be removed from that loan. So but I think it was, in hindsight now, when I look back, I think that was a grave error. Because if that error was not made, we would have had an international terminal at Enugu, like the way we have at Port Harcourt, built with that same loan. Made in the collector. But it's a story for another day.
There is no problem. Onyema is a very nice man, and when I began to fall in love with him was when he went to South Africa to brought some of our people during that crisis. You understand? And he has been trying to make sure that all of us benefit, from Nigerian cake. You understand? So by bringing the airpiece. You understand? So I hope to fly to Lagos or Abuja, take a flight from Abuja to see myself in Anambra. I will be the happiest man.
While we are working behind the scene to ensure that you will fly with airpiece from, you say it's Germany, right?
Yeah.
Which part of Germany are you in?
In one island, they call it Westerland. It's 15 minutes from Denmark. Yeah, Westerland.
Of course, I know Westerland. What are you talking?
Yeah.
Westerland is not far from Flensburg.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because I went to uni in Kiel, so you should know that I know those areas.
Almost, that's where our capital is.
Exactly. That is the Schleswig-Holstein, actually, yeah? That's the Schleswig-Holstein, eh?
Yeah, close to me.
Yeah, genau. That in their name, Odinboy, Or the
Volleyball, yeah.
man,
Yeah.
when somebody, you know, that time would they use what's they call that transport again from Kiel Hoppanov? Go use train, go Lübeck.
Yeah,
Lübeck.
yeah. Yeah,
Lübeck.
yeah.
Because you see, if the Kiel airport was to be in the southeast, we will be crossing the whole Federal Republic of Germany. Because that's one of the most useless airports I've seen.
Okay.
Plane doesn't land there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a very anyway.
But the island, you can fly from anywhere in Germany to the island. The best of it. The airport is working very, very good. So,
maybe
Flensburg airport is working. Yeah.
The closest to you will be Hamburg. To fly from Hamburg, so the plan will be
from Hamburg to the island. It's about from Hamburg Altona to the island. It's 3 hours.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, thank you very much, my brother. Thank you for your call. Thank you.
I have one other thing I want to say.
Be quick, please. Be quick.
I watched your interview with Nnamdi Kalu's lawyer.
Okay.
And
Nnamdi
Kalu happens to be a man that I know very, very well. You understand? And the fight that Nnamdi Kalu is fighting is not fighting for himself. You understand? He was a man that was born with a golden spoon. You understand? And he forsake all his golden spoons. You understand? And he was fighting for us. You understand? And look at what he's passing through. And I thank God for people like you, who believe in his dream and his vision. You understand? Likewise me. You understand? I pray that God will make our Ohanesdes, our governors, the elite in Igbo land. You understand? To cue to his idea, make things to work for every one of us.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well spoken.
Thank you very much for allowing me to use your social media to say.
Thank you very much. So I think I have another caller. Sorry. It's dropped now. Okay. People will be running up. Wiseman says, on your dot, is it a live program? Yes, it is. It is a live program. E.A. Okoli says, E-Naira app has been removed from the Play Store after series of complaints. Oh dear. See, Nigeria, go they do everybody. Hello, who am I speaking to? You're speaking to Mazes, okay.
Hello, sir. It's Christopher.
Okay, may you speak up, sir?
Hello, can you hear me? It's Christopher. I'm calling from Canada.
Okay, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to know because there's this video you showed last time where Umba was campaigning at Alaba Market, and I was hearing people saying, "Oh, there will not be election. There will not." In any city. Also in Abuja last time when they brought Kano, I was also hearing there will not be election. There will not. I just want to know those people that are saying that. What is it that they are going to gain if there is no election in Anambra?
They have a choice, isn't it?
I know they have a choice. Is that good for them? Is that good for? If it is people that are supporting IPOP, is that good for their leader? Is that a good thing for them to be doing?
I do not know what they will gain, but if I was if I was supporting no election, then I'll probably answer that question. But my view has always been anchored on the Igbo philosophy of live and let live. So if you wish that day that you don't want to go and vote, of course I would say by all means stay home. But allow those that wish to go and vote and those who believe in that voting process to go. That's all. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So people, oh dear. The more I want to close this because actually there is a program that need to come up. These guys have been giving me, producers have been giving me signs to stop. because there is a program by Tony Nadi discussing Nigerian unity that's supposed to come online now. Yeah, hello, who am I speaking to? Hello, who am I speaking to?
Hello, good evening. Okay.
Yeah, good evening. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
I said, who am I speaking to? You're speaking to Mazes, okay?
Okay, you are speaking with Emeka. I'm calling from Japan.
Okay, so Emeka, make it snappy. Thank you.
Okay, I just want to commend you because I've been following your program and be watching you all the time.
Emeka, you're not paying title from Japan. That's why I can. Go ahead.
You can paste your account number because I'm not seeing account number here on the screen. So you can do that. I feel something for you because you are really trying for Igbo people. Also, I would like to commend the governor of Anambra State. It's a very welcome development because this thing is going to create many jobs in Adi. It's a very good thinking for him.
But some people,
Also,
no, some people say it's not worth talking about. That it is nonsense.
Who is saying that rubbish? This is a very good investment in Aribo. Because it's going to create many jobs in Aribo. When I hear this thing, I'm very, very happy. Now, if I want to come to Japan, I will just fly direct to Anambra State. It's a very, very good idea.
You can't fly that. Are you going to come with? You going to come with the Japanese airline or what? You can't fly to Anambra State.
Yeah, from Lagos to Anambra direct. It's a very good something for me. It's good.
Okay. Anyway, that's you're right. So check the comment section. I think the account number. I think they've pasted the account number. But again, let me tell people, please. It's not right. People say that Ken Ribar says that Ninas too is asking for election boycott. No, Ninas is asking for 2023 election boycott that's going to be collective. Ninas is not interested in Ekiti, in the boycott of Ekiti election that is off-season election. Ninas is not interested in the boycott of Anambra State election that is off-season. What Ninas is saying is the boycott of 2023 collective election. That is, if you're able to pull it off, that according to Ninas, that they feel it will have impact. So that's before you misquote anyone. So kindly round up now. Thank you very much, my brother. So,
okay, thank you very much.
So how is Japan?
Everything is okay. You know, every system is working here, not like in Africa.
So they don't take light in Japan?
Never.
Never.
So
since you see, how long have you been in Japan?
Getting to 20 years now.
And you haven't seen the light gone off one day?
Never.
Really?
Even at the typhoon or every sort of weather, not like Nigeria when the aeroplane want to fall and we just take light. It's never happened for one day.
Really? Wow.
The system is working here. Everything is working here.
They have never taken light.
Yeah, all those police brutality and all that. I think Japanese police are number one in the world.
Yeah, but would they treat you? Would the Japanese police treat you well as a black man?
Same. They don't discriminate.
Really?
Also, you have your resident here. They treat you as they treat their people.
Wow.
Same. No problem. They don't have problem.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's good to know. That's good to know. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your call.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yep. So, people, on that note, for many of you who are requesting for the account number, you can see the account number on the screen. That's a Fidelity Bank account. Now, obviously, every one of you that have watched us now, the summary, I'm not going to take any other calls, so please do not call again. The summary here is that the Anambra airport is now um, going to be officially from Saturday be used as a commercial airport. You can now fly from Lagos, from Abuja, into Anambra State after the 30th of October 2021. Again, I personally think this is something to celebrate. There is a lot of things that's happened over the time. A lot burning, killing, whatever. A lot of bad news coming out from my dear state. Pardon me would if you would disagree with me, but pardon me to for 1 second shift my thinking from the insanity happening to something that might psychologically cheer me up. We all cannot just die one day by just, the level of negativity that comes and the level of negativity that will consume. On that note, I will say thank you very much for being part of this broadcast. I am still Mazi Ezoke. I leave you once more with the video of Anambra Airport. Then I say good night, everyone. Bye bye.